It sounds like one instrument group is starting a sentence, so to speak, and a second instrument group is finishing that sentence. Hey everyone, my name is Christoph Jakob. I'm a music composer for video games. Sizzle season has just dropped and the devs have decided to finally give us some new multiplayer tracks. Ink Theory from Splatoon 2 is indirectly and somewhat making a comeback, or at least one of the musicians from that Splat band. Today, let's talk about Ska-Blam, one of the 3 newly added songs in Splatoon 3 by a brand new band called Yoko and the Gold Bazookas. Before we get into it, I've been working on my own Splatoon-inspired album this year, which will release later in June. You can already pre-order and listen to 3 of the songs over on my Bandcamp page. Links to that in the description below. Thanks everyone for the support, and let's get into Ska-Blam. What a weird sentence to say. Very nice intro. Oh damn, that's fast-paced. That's really fast-paced. Ska-Blam, as the name obviously gives away, is written in a music genre called ska. And if I'm not mistaken, the very first ska tune in all of the 3 Splatoon games so far. The song Seascape from the original Splatoon is pretty much the only existing tune, at least in my opinion, which is somewhat close to being ska. More on that in a moment. What even is ska? What are elements that clearly mark Ska-Blam as ska music? First of all, the overall tempo. If you're just listening to the main melody, you might think, hey, it's not that fast. But try paying attention to the drums. While the kick and snare drum are pretty much as straightforward as can be, so basically, the remaining drum parts have a strong focus on so-called offbeats. Now, what does offbeat even mean? Ska-Blam, just like a lot of other ska music, is written in a very common 4/4 time signature. The drums make it pretty easy to count along. You just need to be quite fast here. Now, offbeats are pretty much the beats that are right in between those full beats. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. Both the hi-hats and the subtle electric guitars have a strong focus on these offbeats. As a result, the music feels very jumpy, bouncy and danceable. Coming back to Seascape that I mentioned earlier, try to pay attention to the rhythm of that song. I've jokingly been calling Seascape from Splatoon 1 Upbeat the Song, because similar to ska music, it has an overwhelmingly large focus on offbeats. Another element that's typical for ska music appears in Ska-Blam as well, and that is what the bass is doing. We're getting an active bass that is playing almost exclusively quarter notes, quite similar to a walking bass in jazz. Really nice. Out of all the multiplayer bands, I think Yoko and the Gold Bazookas, which is an awesome name by the way, seem to have the most subtle vocals. I suppose that's not to distract from the fact that they are meant to be a brass band first and foremost. Nice sax solo. Something I forgot to mention that I admittedly only noticed when the saxophone started soloing around is that so far all the brass instruments have been playing the exact same thing. This is what you call unison in music, when multiple instruments or instrument groups play the exact same notes at the exact same time. If you've watched Can you please stop? Can you? I'm recording a video right here.
I'm sorry, I didn't mean to bother.
Thank you. If you've watched any of my previous videos, you might also be wondering, why is he not talking about stuff like key, chords and chord progressions this time? I think in ska and also in jazz, at least to the... Can someone get rid of this dude? I think in ska and also in jazz, at least to a degree, the chords often don't really matter that much and are often just implied instead of appearing in full in the music, if that makes sense. G minor is constantly implied to my ears. And I sometimes hear D major and E flat major as well. But what I really hear is just a specific set of notes that the musicians are choosing from that are neither clearly minor nor major. It sounds so silly in a way, but I think that partially lies in the nature of ska music. Nice call and response. Ska-Blam is all about that rhythm and tempo. We actually haven't been given a single break whatsoever so far. I think it's also safe to say that out of all the songs we've heard so far, Ska-Blam seems to be one of the most hectic and frantic ones. And to be honest, I am all in for it. During this section, most of the brass instruments go back to playing in unison once again. There's a subtle organ in the background, which adds some really nice flavor to the music. I really love the fast-paced dialogue that is happening between the trumpets and the baritone sax. Nature of ska music. Nice. This is what you call and response, by the way. And that should be pretty much self-explanatory. It sounds like one instrument or instrument group is starting a sentence, so to speak, and a second instrument or instrument group is finishing that sentence. Man, this song went so hard. There have once been no changes to the drums and the rhythm at all. What I really like here is the moment the bass drops out. Sometimes music is not so much about what the different instruments are playing, but instead when it's better for an instrument to drop out for a moment. The bass stopping here is noticeable, but it's refreshing in a way, while the organ is starting a little solo jam. That is quickly imitated by the saxophone. All in all, I'd say Ska-Blam has a bit of a main theme character to it. And I assume that's exactly why they chose this particular tune for the trailer. Very nice stuff. I'm looking forward to listening to more music from this Splat band. Thanks for watching. Like this video and subscribe if you have not already. Let's try to defeat the algorithm together. Feel free to join my Discord server as well and stay tuned for some upcoming music showcases from Splash 2. I'll talk about those over on Twitter, in Discord, and upload quite a bunch of YouTube shorts regarding that. With all that being said, see you. And hopefully not you. Next time.